Hey folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I'm Robert, your resident Gen Xer. Right over there is John, your resident Millennial. My camera's got me backwards. That's weird. That's funny.
Ha!
Everything's flopped. What is going on?
Because you're backwards.
It is. It's a backwards kind of moment.
Backwards fuck.
Hey, we're just dropping in for a quickie real quick. John, there's just been a little bit of stuff
Quickie.
popping off. I'm in the middle of vetting, trying to vet a story that came across my news feed that
Yeah.
one of, a couple of two or three different stories that popped up that I was like, okay, these are, hey, you want to talk about these? It's, look at Michael Vega. It's not Monday, but you're here.
Yeah.
But you're here, right? Isn't that
You're here,
exciting?
aren't you? Right. But
So,
yeah, I mean, I'm actually excited about doing these little, little short things that we're doing.
hey,
Except for the fact that I actually had to put pants back on. That kind of sucked. But
nobody can see that you don't have pants on, John.
no, but they'll know it in spirit.
No, there's nothing wrong with a little quickie every once in a while.
Right.
But hey, I threw something in the Discord. It's Iran is fucking around again, potentially. Like I said, I'm vetting the story with the that's coming out of the American military news. I'm trying to determine how you know efficable this source is. Talking about a new missile strike that has happened at a base in Iraq. Four wounded Iraqi soldiers at that base, but it was a base that we were kind of actually pulling out of. So there weren't a lot of Americans in the vicinity, as it were. That is the report. They disclosed the casualties after 8 Katyusha rockets hit the base. 7 mortar rounds also reportedly struck the base's runway. Um, there was a tweet from someone out in that area. 4 reported injured, among them 2 officers. There was a question mark about the province being under attack, etc. That is potentially happening. I'm waiting for more sources because, surprisingly enough, none of our top news media is breaking that story, as it were. So we'll see what's happening with that.
Yeah.
But also, apparently, a British official, a British ambassador, was arrested on Saturday during the anti-government protests in Tehran, and the British government has called it a flagrant violation of international law. He is the British envoy Rob Macaire to the Islamic Republic. He's been there since March 2018. He was arrested as he stopped at a barber shop for a haircut after attending a vigil for the victims of a Ukrainian jetliner that crashed in Tehran last week. Um, Macaire left the vigil after it became a demonstration, but was later accused by Iranian authorities of helping to incite the anti-government protest. This is from other British reports. The arrest of our ambassador in Tehran without grounds or explanation is a fragrant. It's a fragrant.
It's fragrant.
It's a flagrant violation of international law. This is from the Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab. He also, the Iranian government is at a crossroads moment. It can continue its march towards pariah status with all the political and economic isolation that entails, or take steps to de-escalate tensions and engage in a diplomatic path forward. So shit or get off the pot. But so now, now it looks like they're going to start poking yet another bear, if nothing else. This, amongst other things, has prompted Donald Trump, President Trump. I gotta give him props, and President Trump
Holy
put out
shit. Actual praise from Robert
um,
to
he
the president.
he put out a
Holy shit.
he put out a tweet, and he said, and he put it out in, and please forgive me, language that the for the Iranian people, is it Arabic? I know
I
there's
think
a
it's Arabic,
specific
but
name for it, but I'm not 100% sure. Please forgive
I'm
me.
sure it's some dialect of
Oh,
Arabic.
translate. Oh, Persian. He sent it in Persian.
Persian.
Gotcha.
Persian.
Yes, it's
I'm
in
sure he
Persian.
knows Persian.
But it says addressing Iran's leaders, don't kill your protesters. Thousands have been killed or imprisoned so far, and the world is watching. More importantly, the United States is watching. Reconnect the internet and let reporters move freely. Stop killing the great people of Iran. Now, that is the kind of tweet that I want to see from our president when it's all said and done. I mean, that's
Hmm.
that's diplomacy. That's a plea. That's an you need to address what you're doing. I have to give him mad props on that. You don't see that very often, in my opinion. Not in
Yeah.
not in that not in that tone. And what was surprising to me is typically when Donald Trump does tweet, President Trump tweets, either one, you see a lot of disparity from responders immediately. Of course, right? It's they've got to jump on and they've got to say something. But the responses on this tweet are impressive from the standpoint that I get a lot more feeling of support from this, as you can see from me, but also Iranian individuals, whether in Iran or associated with people in Iran. The messages are getting out, as it were, praising him addressing the situation this way and standing up for the Iranian people. And that speaks very highly to the idea that, I was just in Jay Edgar's chat yesterday, and there was talk about Iran, and ultimately, it's the Iranian people have an affection for Americans as far as no issues. I won't say an affection. I guess we'll call it something else.
Hmm.
But it's the government. It's the government that they have a problem with, and I can understand that. And it's the government on both sides, right? Their own government and our government. They don't agree with the U.S. government and the moves that they make, but the American people, they don't have an issue with. And this goes a long way to Donald Trump bridging that gap. I think when he takes this tact. Now, that's not to say that tweets that have followed are not about the do nothing Democrats and the impeachment, but I'm just saying it's a standout for me. Um, I don't
I
know.
do like that name that he gives them, the Do Nothing Democrats.
Well, it's an interesting name, But
They're
but the funny thing is they are doing something. I mean,
trying to, but
it may accomplish nothing, but they are doing something. I mean, let's give them credit for
yeah,
something.
but accomplish nothing Democrats doesn't really roll off the tongue like Do Nothing Democrats does. It's that D,
They
the
are
extra D. You
they
got
are
to have two Ds.
It takes a lot of effort to fill the swamp, brother. It takes a lot of effort to fill the swamp. Just I'm just curious. What do you think from a response standpoint with the United Kingdom ambassador? Is this going to ratchet up the involvement of the UK? Because they kind of seem to be like standing back, and they also put out. You saw the article I shared with you in Discord that I mentioned. Another article that talked about the UK is wanting to stand back from its alliance with Donald Trump. Not it was weird, right? Because it's like they want to distance themselves from him because of what is going on with Iran, according to this article. But you know, saying that he's his isolationist tactics, blah blah blah, whatever. You know what I'm referring
Hmm.
to. Which I'm happy with. I'm like, okay, is this actually him moving to isolationism? You know, that would be awesome. Yeah, let's. Okay, you don't want us. You don't want to be dealing with us and our military over there anymore. That's fine. Because one thing the article didn't talk about in their disagreement with him was anything economic. and I was happy about that. I'm like, okay, they're not talking economics.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, the whole thing with the UK, I mean, they're dealing with a lot of their own shit right now with, Brexit and everything, which I heard was supposed to be on the 31st of this month, but I don't really know too much about that.
Right.
Um, so I think they're going to be dealing with that a lot. I think they're going to be dealing less with the geopolitical and dealing with things at home for the most part. I mean, they might keep people over there, but I think if there's going to be any retaliation for it, it's going to be from us. And I don't think there's going to be unless they don't release the guy.
So you think you would expect the retaliation for the UK ambassador to come from us?
Yeah,
Really? Wow.
yeah, for a number of reasons. I mean, one, like you mentioned, they're talking about the UK was talking about getting rid of their defensive pact with us, but they haven't yet. Which means that we're still part of it. Which means that anything that happens to them, we have to respond to. So there's that part, and then secondly, we're already over there in force, so we're in a better position to do something about it, especially something bigger about it.
Right.
So, I mean, those are at least my reasons why I think that
Well,
if it's going to be retaliation, it's going to come from us, most likely.
should we at least not put it on them to make the move first and then back them up, back their play, as opposed to yeah. I don't want us to step into that business. It's like okay, how are you going to respond to this UK, and then we'll back that play. But us to just get involved and intervene in that, is that does our war pact, is that what it entails, or is it entail we've got your back?
Well,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah. So
clear
it's
thing.
if anyone like attacks you, we will go to war with them as well, even if they didn't attack us. That's what a defensive pact is.
Gotcha. I
Right.
just want but I guess it's just okay. But are we allowed to wait on their response, right? For them to say, okay, we
Um,
would like you to come along with us as we go in and clear this situation up, as opposed to, hey, America, jump in here and do something so we don't have to. That's I don't love that thought.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. That would be up to the upper echelon of both militaries to discuss and determine for themselves.
Right.
Um, I mean, I like what Sewell is saying right there, though it may be the British SAS leading the charge with U.S. forces backing them up, which makes more sense, but
That's what I would love to
it
see.
doesn't always work. Yeah, it doesn't always work that way, but
Yeah.
because I mean, like I said, we're already there. I'm sure they have some SAS guys over there, but we're already there in force. It'd be very easy to just drop a couple of bombs on some cultural sites.
Well, the isolationist in me is like, hey, you know what? If we're expected to back them up, we can do that. But I don't want to go and I don't want to have to be the strong arm for the UK in solving this issue.
Hmm.
Whatever happens with it. So, but ultimately, I want to. I'm hoping that a lot more comes out about this missile attack, if there actually was one. It's again, sorry that it's a little sketchy. But I think these things are, these are kind of popping off, and I know that we're not going to get a chance to talk to them, talk about them later on before they're all,
Yeah.
they're all just spewed out and regurgitated. But I just wanted to hit you up on it and see what you thought about it. And
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really see anything about it. I was actually busy playing Eve when you messaged me. So, yeah, I wasn't really looking at the news at the time. So, everything that you just said, I've heard for the first time.
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people in the chat heard it for the first time as well. Um, but, so I don't really have like an opinion on what we should do. The only thing I can say is what might happen, what we
Right,
might
right,
do.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And so,
that's usually what our conversations wind up being, is speculation on what's going to happen anyway. So,
yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
I just thought, what the hell? Why don't we let somebody see our conversation, you know, sometime?
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
before we go, I do have one question for you. What is your opinion on the Iranian general who has apologized and shown such remorse over his decision to launch the missile at the plane? He said he had a short time to react and he had to make a decision because it was telling him it was an incoming missile. Are you buying it, or should we
think he's
stand
a
down
pussy.
on anything about that?
Pussy. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean,
Your
if
mic
he
went
actually
low.
showed, if he actually showed like that kind of remorse, then I mean, I don't pity. Okay, no, I do pity. I don't envy anyone in that kind of position.
Right.
On no matter what, who has to make those kind of decisions, because I don't know if I could. You know, then you have to be decisive and hope that it's the right decision to make, whatever it is, with whatever intel you're getting in, which might not be 100% accurate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I keep trying to, I keep relating it to the same way we react, how we react whenever a police officer is put in that position, because it's very similar, right? The way he described what
Yeah.
happened with the missile is very similar to a police officer having to make that snap decision: do I fire or don't I?
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think it could have been a tough call, and and understand. I only have his words to go by, though there, of course,
Yeah.
somebody put a something out that he said 2+ years ago, basically that they have the right to bomb anybody, anybody that kill anybody that they want, basically, that steps across the line with the government. Some bullshit. Uh, but
Man, we got everyone.
if he's remorseful,
Yeah.
proper football game. What's a proper football game? Psst.
There's no such thing.
If
They're all gay as fuck.
if
Glad I
Terry
said it.
if Terry
Football
Bradshaw
is gay as fuck.
if Terry Bradshaw isn't throwing a touchdown pass to Tony Dorsett, it's not real football anymore. I'm just saying. All right, John, I'll quit bugging you, folks. We're gonna get the hell out of here. Thanks for stopping by. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and you'll know when these things are happening. We'll get the hell out of here, and look for us tomorrow night. We'll be shooting the shit, and I believe we're going to be shooting the shit with Mr. Stephen Ignoramus,
That's right.
talking a
Stephen
little bit of
Ignoramus in the
music,
house.
talking a little bit of music, talking a little bit of music.
Yes.
All right, so we're out of here, John. Thanks for stopping by. Peace out, brother.
See you guys.